by that Abyssal Strike. Sure, with some help from Seiken, but still, that's impressive with just 8.
It now. Surely the carry made sense in the grand scheme of things, but when it comes to execution, they were able to reach that power spike. And then Valentina, that they third pick, you understand why Stormy is going to be the priority when it comes to the laning. Unfortunately, it wasn't the case, and now they just really suffered from all their gambles.
Yeah, and as they kept on playing these 50-50s, eventually it's going to stack up one upon the other. It's a learning experience for sure for the side of Team SMG, right? Can't blame them for this, but RRQ here really nicely played. Love the way that they actually snowballed this composition out of control. That's what you always want to see with these types of compositions. And the best part, they were doing it throughout the mid game rather than like, you know what, we're gonna bank it all and get outscaled after the early game, you know? And again, you mentioned earlier, we don't like them being so systematic, but when you have a composition that allows you to overreach your boundaries, when it lands, it really hits.
Man, I'm just so happy to see this because it's like a very quote unquote Vamos thing to do.
Yeah,
that RQ did.
Yeah.
He literally overtaking
Vamos,
the map.
mid. Come over, let's go. Let's just push mid.
Yeah, this is just so fun to see, and I think that maybe this is the way to go for RQ. I wonder, like the pep talk really worked. Wow. Yeah. The pep talk, you know.
All right, I'll give another pep talk. Right, Valentina, this game, I do not understand it, right? That last pick, I try to give it the benefit of the doubt, but it only just gave RQ even more of a reassurance that, all right, we're not going to go for any more big ultimates. And even in the first phase, it was just maybe the Guinevere, the Requiem, that's it, right? I mean, Black Shoes. There were no real big ultimates to give to the Valentina, and that really showed. Despite him dealing quite a lot of damage, there was no real use for that IMU that much. Like, we didn't get to see that. I mean, there's only very few, like, niche situations. Like, oh, let's say if I want to take out the Abyssal Strike from Takashi, for an example, if you're really looking to be that far forward. But that's the thing, right? The ultimates, the big ultimates that you could take requires you to be point blank in your face. And you're Valentina. You don't necessarily build these types of defensive items.
Yeah, I guess the only big ultimate that you can get is the Tyrant's Rage, perhaps. And you're kind of forced to get the Black Shoes as well for Stormy, so that at least you output the damage. But yeah, I do agree with you. The Valentina third pick didn't make sense in the output the damage. But yeah, I do agree with you.
Who will end the road, and who will continue to prove that they are better than great? Let's find out.
First best of 3 match underway here at the M5 World Championship group stage. Give it up for both of these teams as they will be hitting the land of the dawn. It's going to be RRQ Akira on the blue side, looking for a sweep against Team SMG on the red side. Let the battle begin.
Welcome to
Right as we get in, a big question instantly for me personally. Minotaur, the pick yesterday didn't quite work out for RQ Akira, mainly because there was a big hurdle in front of him. There was a Valentina that can steal away that Minion Fury and basically do the same thing. This time Louise is a bit more free to do whatever he wants. Hey, even in the middle lane, Sagan's doing a lot.
There's a lot of damage with Novaria. And I love the fact that they were able to clear that out. It's always difficult for Novaria to kind of survive the first actual wave, especially against a hero like Lilia. Lilia is a very strong laner, but now this means that there could be an invasion.
Saksa already used the Retribution. Keish is walking up, secures the retreat. Louise might be sacrificed here, but the rest of the team follows it up smooth. Jumping with a random slash. It's going to be Saksa was taking low, Louise as well, but they decide to back away, and RQ just takes a big win. That's a spatial migration with a violent Requiem to lock Stormy down, and they get out.
Yeah.
That's the early game that you want to see from the side of RRQ Akira, and I think even for Stormy, he wasn't expecting King to actually hit level 4 so quickly after getting a kill as well as an assist. You know, the calculations in his head. Throwing up guard, no! They don't want to stop there. Saksa, he's died once now. Make it two as they try to dive in, but Smooth provides good cover. Nico with Smooth looking to go for another kill. Louise is running for the hills. The Petrify is ready for Smooth, but he doesn't quite commit it just yet. He is saving it. Oh! Good body block from King. Denies a kill.
Great idea from RQ Akira to actually still invade. I'm surprised that Saxa survived, but that's because of his tankiness. King does have an ultimate. Does not commit it. Maybe they're saving it for the turtle fight.
I mean, at this point of time, I feel like even for RRQ Akira, right, these neutral objectives, especially for these turtles, yes, it's a good way to kind of snowball out of commonly in their own region.
Yeah.
Do they commonly in their own region? Nico, so maybe for find some sort of an opening, but Saxa says there's no way. I'm getting flashbacks. MPL NY Grand Finals, it looked almost like this, where an early game team known as the Homeboys really puts the stops onto Team SMG, forcing them to play hyper defensively, and worse yet, they can't seem to get on their tempo.
And Saxa is not having a great time with Sakai. He's 1,000 gold below, I would say, King a few minutes ago. So that means that lead might have inflated. So what is the implication of that? Come the first Lord fight, you're absolutely not going to be able to tank up the damage coming up from RQ Akira because you probably have only one full item for you. And then, come the second Lord fight, you will only have 2 items, which means that you will be bursted down by Gusta Lagusta, by Sagan. It will keep on ballooning. There has to be a way for them to come back. Oh my goodness, Sagan.
Stop it. Let the man recall. Let him recall. No, Luis, don't do it. Okay. Respect is given. Thank goodness. But they've also proxied away to try and get this lane swap down really well. Like, Brody has already made it to the lane, and we can see that Takashi is making his way down to the bot side after he clears mid. Saxa might be forced to use the heavy spin here. He's going to get down. Sandwich from both areas. Saxa moves in, goes in for a heavy spin aggressively. But that's going to be Vinny's Fury locking it down just for a bit. A good petrify. Gustav flickers out, and the coordination is perfect from RRQ Akira. Meanwhile, on the bottom side of the map, Miko dives in with a circling eagle. Takashi just heals back. Oh! Another re-engage. Miko going to be slashed down. No wins everywhere on the map for SMG. It's a disaster. The mechanical mistakes are really starting to pile up here. At a certain point, you're wondering, hey, does this team have what it takes? And right now, Team SMG are not looking on form.
Yeah. The first 6 minutes of the game was because of the draft and how RQ Akira decided to just pin down Team SMG with a draft advantage that they have in the early game. But the past minute, that is just literally just Team SMG losing all those team fights.
Used Retry too. Basically, he had to just give up on the turtle take now.
That's right.
I don't think it's worth it for Team SMG to walk up to the turtle at this point, right? This is 7 minutes into the game, building up to a 5K lead. A majority of the members of RRQ Akira are basically almost a full item ahead, maybe a half component at the very least. Oh man, he didn't even use his Retry for the first initial turtle, so this is just gone. What can?
Not even for the steal.
Nope. That gold disparity between the two junglers is building up, and Team SMG at this point, they can't even defend their tier 2 despite them having 4 members up in and around that top to mid side. They're just gonna have to give it over to RRQ. They'll even take it as slow as they can to try to deny as many minions. They're really maximizing any sort of punishes towards SMG. You know, I was talking about this the other day about, maximizing your leads and really making sure that there aren't any holes in your gameplay. But right now, RRQ Akira, right, they are warmed up. They're not playing as slow as they were in the previous matches of their group stage. But against Team SMG, it feels like this is it. They are warm. 1v3, Takashi taking everything. Finally, SMG are on the board. And that took 3 ultimates. So remember when I told you earlier that I'm just the biggest liar? It's just, it happens every single time. You just can't compliment the team without them immediately almost running it down. CC, massacres.
Caster curse. Takashi might have died there, but look at the macro coming up from RQ Akira. They're invading once again. They're taking away so much from Saxa and punching now.
No heavy spin. It was used up earlier, and Saxa just gets locked down. A torn apart memory fadeaway picks him up all the way from downtown. And that's Saxa, who's out. Whoa, Nico, circling Nico. Trying to provide some support, maybe to Smooth, who's in that bush, who's looking for perhaps a little bit of an ambush. Gusta Lagusta walks up now, gets caught in the Phantom Slash. Gusta outtrades him.
My God, just literally one attack coming up from the Brody. It's more than enough to kind of take away 30% of the HP of the Benedetta. We don't want that to happen because you need a frontliner. Typically, you're going to be looking for Miko as well as Saxa, but somebody has to stay in front and peel for the Bruno. That's their main win condition. Now 9 minutes in, they deploy the orange buff to Sasa. So let's see if this makes some difference.
Oh, Miko's opening up quite well. Saxa jumps in. Violent Red Whip steals it for SMG, but Louise with a flinker minion. Fury
Oh my
Takashi
goodness.
slashing Sasa in the back. SMG got the Lord, but at what cost?
The Raging Sandstorm flicker is just, oh no, Miko also losing his Purify as well. I mean, all the battle spells are coming out from the side of Team SMG, and they just bought themselves time with a simple steal, but you can see that RRQ and Kira are still very much in control.
Yeah, you gotta give it to Saxa.
Yeah, well played.
Well played. He found the opening looking for King and found the best spot in that Lord pit. The wall around the Lord was able to pin him down. I think that if they haven't lost Sasa during that moment, it was the perfect timing for Team SMG, because if RQ here gets the Lord, surely one of their inhibitors would have gone down because of the lead that they had. Oh my goodness, the damage.
Oh, one more hit, and the lethal ignition does its work.
Oh my goodness.
Yep.
Whoa.
Well, at the very least, we know that lethal ignition is, especially when you have an early lead like this, is so worthwhile compared to concussive blast. Oh god.
No Purify this time. Miko just quit him. Gets 10 taken down. A good heavy spin though from Saxa. Another response. Gusta pinned down and taken out by Sasa. It picks up that shutdown, and just like that, Team SMG have found another chance to prolong the game.
I did this so Saxa. I mean, it was terrible. Whatever happened in the early stages was terrible. You see his last two moves, able to pin out Sasa, Gusta La Gusta, and then eventually steal the Lord. Could be perfect for Team SMG for their road to recovery. Still, very much of an uphill battle. But we were talking about the amount of items, right? So come the next Lord, it might be enough for Saxa to get his third defensive item. So that might be enough for him to kind of tank it.
Okay, especially with the current economics that we're seeing right now. Let's look at the damage dealt, right? Storm is actually catching up pretty quickly with Takashi and Sagan just behind him.
I love this. The Twilight Armor for King. Even after the late stages of the game, that's going to be important for tanking the damage output coming from Stormy, but also against Sasa, especially when you kind of be lucky when you actually catch the critical coming out from the you really nullify the damage output. So I really like this Twilight Armor pickup coming out from King.
Okay, something that kind of kills two birds with one stone, some may say, because most people are going to be looking into, you got to make sure that you have the right items to get away with this, but RRQ Akira looking to go for these flanks and smooth hiding it back.
Oh no. One auto attack, that's 30% HP. Three bucks.
Yeah. I mean, the Khalid's damage right now is disgusting. Saxa opens up, finds Louise. Minions Fury can't be cancelled, and he's able to knock Saxa up, stopping any sort of full initiation, and also technically baiting in a massive resource. King jumps in.
Lord dance against Team SMG.
He's stopping it. Come on, Saxa. He's holding on, and eventually the line. Come on, is there a punish here, though?
There should be a Purify. Oh, it's nice. Takashi in the back line. A good one to nature. Combines the sustain for Saxa. Now it's going to be Saxa walks up like King secures it now. Turnaround, regional migration. Sustain has everything still.
Starts walking into SMG's base. Is this technically worthwhile for the side of Team SMG, or is it eventually going to bite them once the Lord is at the inhibitor?
At this point, any port in the store for Team SMG, any single kill that any single win that they are able to get, they have to take it. And honestly, I didn't think that Team SMG would have gotten more than what they had for that particular fight, because they allowed Sasa to be successful because of the winning nature. He survived after the initiation coming out from Tekashi, which I thought was already pretty good, and then they punished Tekashi. They might not have gotten Lord, but the thing is, Saksa did not die as well. So I think there are many little wins for Team SMG for that. So to answer your question, I think it's worth it.
Okay, let's see whether RQ and Kira have anything to say about how worth it that was. They're looking to break open these inhibitors.
A good charge from the Lord. RQ just hovering over, looking for a chance to engage. Saksa gets chunked. They're trying to bait out that heavy spin, but it will not work out for now. Kusta, one last shot, finds it onto the base turret in the bottom lane, taking it down smooth. That's a beautiful final slash on the Gusta, but there's no follow-up. Torn apart memory, ooh! Flask of the Oasis and the Guiding Wind just providing him enough HP to survive. Now it's two waves coming down in the mid lane, and that's going to be a spatial migration, baiting out a heavy spin. King gets out for now. Saksa no longer able to provide the right amount of cover for the team, as that has been baited out.
I'm looking all across the map. I'm looking at the numbers here. I still see that 5.2k lead, and yet it felt like,
It is Fury with a flicker combo. That's a 4-man knockup. King gets a spatial migration. Saksa somehow still able to survive. Gusta went for a greedy last hit, and he gets last hit instead.
Wolf, walk me through. What is Team SMG doing right here? Like, it's clear that the economics are now not favoring RQ any longer, but how did they pull this defense off?
Dial back 45 seconds earlier, RQ Kira made great baits, but Team SMG just found the better punish against RQ Akira. They overheat, literally overheating against Team SMG. That jump onto Saksa was far too greedy. You have to take note of the guiding winds now. The saves coming up from Team SMG. That's what you need to respect if you're RQ Akira.
I think the favorite coming up from Miko is actually providing so much value on top of the Flask of the Oasis. Multiple saves actually coming up in a very short period of time, but I think that at least, we were worried about Team SMG not being able to get out of that early game, and here we are, 16 minutes into the game, 49,000 to 48,000 as the gap closes with one inhibitor missing.
At this point, you're gonna have to respect the damage level of Stormy. Surely King will be prepared, well-equipped versus the Novaria, but everyone else will not be. Tekashi will be now scaling downwards, actually, as the Khalid. Yes, he still deal a lot of damage, but he gets taken out very easily.